just so we could have a double fisting Batman. Hey, what's up you guys, Shartimus Prime here doing another Transformers figure review on the Transformers Dark of the Moon Human Alliance Soundwave. If you're trying to get your Transformers figures, you can give it big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below. Now this figure is brought to me used, and I gotta say thank you to Alfonso. Thank you so much. I have been wanting this figure for years. This, along with the Deluxe Class Leadfoot, are the two from the Dark of the Moon waves that were never released that I really wanted a lot. That was sad that they never produced for the US. So these are basically Japanese import figures. They do cost quite a bit, but you get a picture of Soundwave right over there, and then there's Mr. Gold. This is an amazing gift. I mean, just damn it, man. Thank you. And you get Japanese characters all over the place. There's a bio right there in English. If you want to read it, pause it now. We get some text specs on him. Pause it now if you want to read that. And then here's the back of the packaging. You can see Laserbeak, Mr. Gold, and we get Soundwave in his robot mode. And there's Mr. Gold. Oh. All right, let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here are the figures out of the packaging. Now, you have to forgive me ahead of time. I'm going to preemptively apologize because I have been wanting this figure for so long, and it really delivers. I really like it a lot. It's so awesome. But anyway, he comes with Mr. Gold right over here, and then you get Laserbeak. And I really like this Laserbeak figure a lot too. But let's first take a close look at Mr. Gold. Now, this little figure is tiny. It's actually a little bit less than 2.5 inches tall. And the guy has a kind of a funny looking face, but it's not bad. I mean, for how tiny it is, I think they did a pretty good job sculpting this. He's got that hole in his back, and then I think the hands and everything are sculpted actually pretty nicely on this. It's not too shabby at all. His articulation isn't too bad either. The head rotates side to side, shoulders move outward, they move forward. He has rotation right there at the wrists, and he has no waist articulation, but his legs can kick forward so he can sit in the car, and they don't really move backwards, and you could twist him outward like that too. And then he bends at the knee, rotates at the knee, and then that's it. We can open the door to Soundwave right over there. It's kind of hard to see, but there's that peg sitting right there in the back of the seat, so that's where you plug Mr. Gold into. And there he goes, and then just get the hands up so he's holding the steering wheel. I like how they sculpted and painted these eyes right there on Laserbeak. He has a nice sculpt throughout, actually. I really like this. And I really like the fading effect we have right here with this metallic red and the gray. That looks awesome. He's got his little turbines right there on the back, and then there's his tail. He has some articulation, too. You can rotate the wings like this, and you can move the legs forward and back and outward. They're both on ball joints. And then that's really about it. It's got a little 360 action on Laserbeak really quick. I had the deluxe version of this, but I got rid of it because I wanted this figure in particular really bad. But to compare him to deluxe class figure, here's Ravage right over there. So there's our movie Ravage compared to Laserbeak. All right, let's get to the transformation. Will you take us away, Bumblebee? Okay, so the first thing I want to do is there's this little tab that hangs out right under there, and you're going to grab that and swing that all the way down, and then you're going to push his legs up against the wings, rotate the wings backwards, and then connect this peg into that little hole right there, and that is it. Now he's in gun mode. So when you get this all transformed, you want to make sure Laserbeak's head's facing upwards like this, and then there's this peg sticking down right here. This will attach to Soundwave, which I'll show later on. And here we have Soundwave. This is a cool looking car. Now from what I read, it's a Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG. I don't know too much about cars, but I just think this looks awesome. I really like the body of this. It looks really cool. I like these rims right here. We have some nice silver paint. I like how we have Superior written right there, you know, because it's Soundwave, so that makes sense. And we get these transparent blue windows throughout. This is very cool. You can pop the doors open. I'm digging that. And then we get a passenger seat right over there as well. Whoa, I gotta put the passenger seat up. But yeah, and then we get the seat for Mr. Gold, which we saw earlier. You can see the steering wheel. It's a trip that you could actually rotate the steering wheel right there. A lot of nice detail in this. I really like this figure. But you actually even see the air nozzle right there for the tires. And it looks like we have some brake pads behind there too. I think that is really cool. Get some nice treads right there. And there's not too many Kipley bits underneath here too. It looks pretty nice. And then looking at the front of this though, you get that Mercedes logo right there. This just looks great. I like the hood of this car. I like the color gray. I think this is just really nice. I'm really digging this a lot. I'm so happy to have this. Thank you, Alfonso. I just really like this a lot. And it rolls okay, as long as there's no real change in the floor. Like only in some spots of the review station I could hear the back of this touching the ground. But for the most part, it rolls pretty well. You can see all the tires moving all over the place. So yeah, go get him, Soundwave. Now this car mode measures at about 6.5 inches across and just over 2 inches tall. Now Alfonso had asked me if I thought this was the best Bayformer figure ever made, and I had to tell him no. I still think the Jazz is the coolest one, but this is a very close second. I like this Jazz figure a bit more. I just like his robot more, and he's like shinier. I like shiny things. So the transformation on this figure is not too complex. Another reason why I like the figure so much. So will you take us away, Bumblebee? Okay, so the first thing we want to do is take pieces of the bumper, and we're going to take these and pull them outward and swing them forward. And same thing on this side right over here. Just pick that out and move that forward. And then he's going to split apart on the sides, kind of like the barricade figure, and or actually all the barricade movie figures are like that. And come apart, boom, there it goes. Oh, come on. There, boom, there it goes. And then these are going to form the arms. And then you want to take these, and then there's a hinge right over here, which is kind of hard to see, but there's a hinge right there. And you're going to swing that down. Same thing on the other side. Swing that down, and then pull this forward, and then swing this all the way outward. So it's actually going to do kind of a 180 move so that they're totally out of the way. And then clip that in, and come on, clip in. There's a tab right inside here, and then there's this peg that sticks out right over there, so that all goes in together nicely if you do it correctly. And then you can have these arms come down. Then we actually could start forming the arms on this guy. Now these pieces right here, this is going to be part of the back, and then we could fold basically taking apart the roof of the car. And then we're going to take this, there's this piece right here that's supposed to kind of swing upwards and go into the armpit. So I'm going to do that, make sure that's all clear. I tend to forget that, and then if you do forget doing that, it's a little bit more difficult later on. So I'm going to get that out of the way and move that up in there. And then we can rotate this way, and then the hand swings outward. There's two hinges right there for part of the hand. Move the seat back, and then there's his thumb. Do the same thing on the other side. We're gonna extend this, so bend this in this way, and then have his thumb, move the seat down, and then extend this piece. It has two hinges, and then it's gonna come out and make some fingers. Now, there's also this piece right over here. You're gonna take this, lift all this up, swing it back and down, and then we have the leg section for Soundwave, which just splits in half pretty well. Let's see if we can get this done, get nails right in there, and then flip this all the way around, and then try to fold this down. Lift that up, fold that down. And then he has, I don't know, the legs are kind of small on this figure. It's a little tricky when it comes to the legs for me, just because he's got such small legs. But he has like 3 different points that he stands on, and you just want to swing all those down. So anything that's blue over here is going to be part of his feet. So swing all this down, and then this last piece right here will just hinge that downward. Then you kind of want to straighten out the legs. So that's pretty much the legs over there. And then since we moved this back, we might as well pick Soundwave's head out, this square port, and it fits for that plug. So he's gonna get plugged in the butt and then plugged up right there. And it doesn't really want to stay too well for me. And then move this piece downward. So now I have both of these pieces facing downward, and then I can rotate this part around and forward. This part is moved around, and then going to the back, we're gonna fold, it has a hinge right here and a hinge right here, and then fold it up like so, and then fold it up right there at the first hinge. The leg's gotten in the way, so fold it up and then fold it down again. And this is pretty much it. Overall, I do think this is a pretty cool robot mode compared to other Human Alliance figures, but I just feel like he's just a bit too top heavy. His shoulders are so big and wide, and he's got these small legs over here. So he's a little tricky to stand, but it's not terrible. This whole connecting part right there, that still bothers me. That doesn't fit perfectly well. It doesn't stay latched. But like I said, I mean, it's like the weight of the top section right here is so big, it kind of holds it down. And then coming back here, you get a little bit of protrusions, you know, from these car pieces, but it's not terrible. Like how we have some woofers kind of throughout over here and make them G1 reminiscent. So you have woofer, woofer, woofer right there. Woofers all over the place. Yeah, I really like the head sculpt on this figure. I think this is a great movie adaptation for the head sculpt. You know, he has those signature Soundwave ears going on, and same thing with this little thing right there in the middle of his forehead. They kept the visor. That would have really pissed me off if movie Soundwave did not have a visor. He does have some chomping action right over here, which, you know, originally in G1 he does not have a mouth, but that's cool. They kept the visor, but there's a lot of little details in there, and they're really tricky to see, but they're there. And coming around the other side right there, you can see the sculpt going on in there in that head. A lot of stuff going on. I think it looks great. Right above his chest, we get some nice paint apps over there, and you can see all these woofers once again with this bright blue. And then again right there on the hands, and then actually on the back of the forearm, on the side of the forearm, you get a cool Autobot logo. Doesn't look too bad. I like that. That's pretty sweet. As we move down here, it looks like he's got a doorbell right above his dinghy. That's kind of strange. And the legs look very much like
parts of a car, but they don't really bother me too much. It's just that they're too small, I think, you know. So the way they look isn't really bothersome for me, but it just looks a little small, especially kind of, you know, some empty space right over here. Then looking at the back of it, there's just a lot of car mode pieces all over the place. Now, aside from the head moving up and down, causing some jaw movement, you can rotate the head side to side. He has shoulders that can move outward as long as you move these flaps up, so you can move them outward like that. You can rotate them forward. He has an elbow side to side movement. He bends that much at the elbow. His thumb can move. His fingers can move. He has no waist joint or anything. Oh, actually, you can make a fake ab crunch. That looks a little weird, but I guess you could work that somehow. His legs move all the way outward. They kick forward. He has an upper thigh swivel. He bends at the knee at 90 degrees, and then all of his toes move. Look at those Soundwave toes. So due to the transformation, we do get some ankle pivot in here. It's kind of strange seeing Soundwave in a dynamic pose, but if you want to do it, you can. Now, Soundwave has these two ports right over here, and we have this port, as I mentioned earlier, for Laserbeak. Yeah, so it's a little tricky getting Mr. Gold on there, but it works, and I think this looks alright. I would actually rather see Laserbeak in his bird mode sitting on his shoulder, and I think that looks much better with having Laserbeak right there on the shoulder, and then we got Ravage in the mix too. For his robot mode, Soundwave stands at 7 inches. And here's Soundwave compared to the Human Alliance Jazz, which coincidentally, I think this is the superior figure. And here's movie Soundwave compared to Masterpiece Soundwave with the G1 look, you know, so you could see how this head sculpt is based off of this guy over here. Thank you, Shirley1. Thank you, Darren. And then here he is next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. So again, thank you so much, Alfonso. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I absolutely love this figure. I'm very, very happy to have him. And I hope you guys liked my video. If you did, hit that like button, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, and check out tformers.com for the latest in Transformers news. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Welcome to Articulated Comic Book Art.
That's crispy.
Laserbeak, and we can just go ahead and plug that in. Oh, damn it.